Came in what?
He stepped in. He was Jerry. He stepped in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's coming.
I didn't notice him.
There he is.
He's here. Here he is.
It's time to start.
Mr. Wright, what's going on?
Yeah. Since you're here, man, person to be heard from the floor.
Resorting to high school tricks, are we?
Yeah, no, he'll just ask the person. Yeah.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the City of DeKalb Planning and Zoning Commission meeting this July 19th of 2021. I would like to take a moment to recognize our new member, Shannon Stoker, who is joining us for the first time this evening. With that, I would like to start with a roll call.
Becker.
Here.
O'Flaherty.
Here.
McMahon.
Here.
Pena Graham.
Here.
Stoker.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Chair Maxwell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll move to the approval of the agenda. If there are any additions or deletions, please let them be known now. Otherwise, I will ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved by Becker.
Second.
Seconded by Wright. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. I will go to the approval of the minutes from July 6, 2021. Again, if there are any additions or deletions that anyone would like to comment on, please do so now. Otherwise, I will ask for a motion to approve.
I move to approve as recorded.
So moved by O'Flaherty.
I second.
Seconded by Wright. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. This is the public participation portion of the program, where if anyone has anything they would like to speak to that is not on the agenda, please do so now and step forward and state your name and address. I'll take it that's a nope. So, new business. We have a public hearing, a petition by TC Pursuit Services, Inc. and DeKalb 349 LLC, owner for approval of an amendment to Ordinance 2006-109 and 2006-107 to accommodate an approximately 700,000 square foot warehouse business center located in east of State Route 23, north of Gurler Road, west of Kriego Road, and south of I-88. I understand we have the petitioner here for a presentation that would like to come forward.
Thank you all. Really appreciate the time here today, and particular thanks to Dan, Bill, Aaron, and Zach as we are here to introduce Project Barb. My name is Morgan Bear-Blaska, and I'm here with Grady Hamilton on behalf of Trammell Crow Company, as well as Jerry Krasinski from DeKalb 343, the ownership entity of Chicago West Business Center. We're really excited to be here today to share more about Project Barb. For a little background, Trammell Crow is one of the most active developers here in the nation, with 17 offices nationally, 4 internationally, with a really strong attention to industrial development. We're really proud to be partnered with Jerry Krasinski and DeKalb 343 on other projects here in DeKalb, Illinois, including the Ferreira project that was recently completed at the tail end of last year. And so for a little context into Project Barb, we are proposing a 700,000 square foot distribution and warehouse facility on about 58 acres on Lot 5 at Chicago West Business Center. As recently mentioned, this is located just off of Interstate 88, a stone's throw away from the Oasis Travel Plaza between Kriegel Road and Gerler. We are also proposing about 535 parking stalls, about 490 trailer parking stalls, and 123 dock doors along with this site plan. Important to note as well, we would anticipate 3 access points off of Gerler and 1 access point off of Kriegel, which would be the predominant truck entrance traffic point for the site. We would really expect a vast majority of this traffic to flow through the Peace intersection onto Kriegel Road to access this development. And we would further anticipate some improvements to Kriegel Road as managed by the development, and a potential expansion of Gerler Road with an additional turn lane. And of course, with the utmost priority of the safety of all cars and trucks entering and exiting this facility, working really closely in partnership with Zach and the city of DeKalb to make sure that that's a top priority from a safety perspective. So with that, we're here to answer any questions, and I will pass it to Dan. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to go through the images. Yeah. Sorry, I got so excited to give you guys the spiel, I didn't go through the fun photos. So right here is the proposed site, which, as we mentioned, is off of Kriegel and Gerler. We would be using the Peace intersection, and as a part of the master development of the Chicago West Business Center. Once again, focusing in on the subject site, right here, the 58 acres, adjacent to the Ferreira developments. Here's a quick overview of the site plan, as detailed the parking stalls, the trailer parking, as well as the dock doors, around 700,000 square feet. Some elevations of the project proposed. And this is some of the additional information that Dan will jump into from what was previously approved from a concept plan perspective, and the amendments we're hoping to make today. So with that,
Thank you, Ms.
pass
Barb.
it to Dan. Any questions? Thank you again for the time. Really excited to be here.
I'll move to the staff report, and then we do have 2 comment forms that I will ask to come forward after that.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. We have a staff report in your packets. As Morgan mentioned, the site here is 58 acres, located just between Ferreira's development and Kriegel Road, part of the Chicago West Business Center, which was annexed and zoned back in 2006. They're proposing a 700,000 square foot warehouse distribution center on the 58 acres. Morgan went through the site plan. I included this background. In 2006, it was annexed and zoned, and there was a plan approved, a concept plan, a preliminary plat approved back there. So this is the subject site here on the eastern part of the Chicago West Business Center, which stretches all the way to Route 23, 88, and down to Gerler. 343 acres. As you can see, there was a little different layout proposed back then. That's why there's an amendment. That's why we're having the hearing tonight, because they're amending the original plan from that time. There was more of a public roadways, fewer private drives, multiple buildings. There was actually commercial zoning along, which still is intact along Route 23. So they're amending it for the 58 acres on the eastern part of the site. That requires a hearing. That's why we're in this process at this time. As Morgan mentioned, the distribution center, there is a plan, a little hard to see, you all have that in your packets. But there's 3 access points, 2 employee visitor access points on Gerler, and 1 truck exit. Kriegel Road is going to be used and upgraded for the entrance to the truck traffic at the far northeast corner of the site. Obviously, a large amount of utility infrastructure work has gone out in this area with the Ferreira and Facebook projects in terms of water and sewer extensions and road improvements, and additional road improvements coming to on Route 23 and Gerler Road this year. The submitted plans show all the parking. There's 35 parking spaces for employees and visitors, about 490 trailer parking spaces, and 121 loading dock spaces proposed. I have in the staff report just some background on the amendments, a little summary. So what we're looking at is an amendment to the concept plan and preliminary plat tonight with the plan that's presented here from the 06 ordinance. The final plans will have to come in. They're asking for that to be approved by staff as long as the plans are in substantial conformance with the plan that you see up on the monitor. So that will include landscaping, the lighting plan, there's UDO requirements and all that, engineering plan will have to come in. The author has to do a plat, which Ferrera did too. They did a final plat. So there'll be a one-lot subdivision coming in fairly shortly. That will go through the commission and city council also. So that'll be coming shortly. The site work is, there is in the current agreement mass grading allowed with a permit on the site, and they plan to do that in early August. So they're moving pretty quickly on this project. We anticipate those plans being submitted this week. In the original agreement, as I showed in the concept plan, had some restrictions on access. That's being asked to be changed to accommodate the 3 private access drives off of Gerler and then 1 off of Krieger Road, so that's an amendment also. We did receive 1 written correspondence from a neighboring residence, and I did provide an aerial showing that from Paul and Patricia Knigge of 3255 South 4th Street, Route 23. I showed they're the 3rd house north of the intersection. The subject site is 58 acres over here. Their home is over here, just off Route 23. They had some, didn't object to it, just had some questions on traffic, a berm along Route 23 and water service. So I did respond, or have some responses here in the staff report. As was mentioned by Morgan, the vast majority of the truck traffic is going to come off the Peace Road intersection down Gerler, not using Route 23. Route 23 and Gerler Road will be improved this year. We do have Zach Gill, our city engineer, is in the sitting over here that can answer any questions or summarize what improvements are going to be occurring. They did submit a traffic study for this project. They did one originally for Ferrera, and a updated one was completed for this. So there'll be some minor road improvements on Gerler, and Krieger Road, of course, will have some upgrades to accommodate the truck traffic. But in terms of the intersection, Route 23 and Gerler, there'll be improvements there, widening and signals this year. We also have, there was a question regarding just kind of in the future. So when this, probably the best way to show this, which shows the 2 existing Ferrera distribution center, pack center. This would be a future site for Ferrera 2. This is a subject site. So this lot over here, which is shown as lot 4, that's part of Chicago West too. There's actually commercial zoning along there. When a project comes in for that, then they'll have to amend the ordinance again. They'll go through the same process as we're doing now. Public hearing, notification to surrounding residents. So whenever that does come in, they'll have to go through the process, and there'll be a berm put up along Route 23 to screen that future building whenever that's developed. So that would be coming down the road. So in conclusion, this is a major asset, again, to the I-88 corridor for DeKalb, economic development boost for the surrounding area. So we strongly strongly recommend approval of the amendments, and there's a sample motion prepared that approves on Exhibit A the approved plans. That's the site plan that you've seen, the architectural renderings, also approved, and also the development standards and the amendments, which I've gone through. City Manager Bill Nicholas is here too for any questions, as long as Zach Gill, myself, or any of the anybody with the petition, Trammell Cove team can answer anything. So
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Again, I have 2 forms for comment, and I hope I'm taking these in the correct order. Kathy Kivistro, if you'd like to step forward and with your name and address. And
I'm Kathy Cavisto at 3275 South 4th Street. And most of my questions have been answered even before the meeting with Bill and Zach Of course, my main concern is traffic. I'm the last driveway before you hit Gurler Road. So that turn lane that's going in, I can't have it starting to the north. I'll never hit DeKalb again. But I would like to address some traffic issues that are happening now, and maybe you guys could do something about it. I mean, we're hearing, because the traffic light hasn't been installed yet, 5 o'clock in the morning, people are hitting those roads and they're laying on their horn, letting them know that they're coming, and I don't like being woke up at 5 o'clock every morning. That and, well, mainly just the traffic is my main concern. Is this going to affect more traffic, less, or what? And maybe we could get some more police presence out there, just because the gravel trucks and stuff are pulling up to that stop sign. They're not stopping. They're just pulling on through. And it could be a major accident. And I'm hearing a lot of tires squealing because they're pulling in front of them. So those are my main concerns, not objecting to anything. I just would like traffic adjusted a little bit.
They sound quite valid. Thank you, Kathy. We'll
Thank
certainly
you.
take them into
I
consideration.
don't know, maybe Zach, if you want to summarize maybe the improvements proposed for 23 and Gurler Road coming up?
Yeah, those have been consistent with the plans that went through IDOT earlier this year, I think. So it will be a left turn lane for the southbound traffic to maneuver east onto Gurler Road to the developments. Coming northbound, there will be a left turn lane to head westbound onto Gurler. Doesn't anticipate much use, but just for the geometrics of it, how IDOT wants to see it for uniformity, that's being put in, as well as a right turn lane for the northbound traffic. So that will allow deceleration and hopefully mitigate a lot of that slamming on the brakes and things of that nature. Gurler on the what we'll call the rural side there, on the west side, is going to remain as is. I mean, minor widening just for comfort, but it still will just be a 2-lane section. That was a request of the residents and some of the township personnel, and we were happy that IDOT was amenable to that. Then on the east side there, on the industrial side of that, there will be a full section that will have both a left turn lane, a through lane, and a right turn lane at the intersection, which will be signalized.
Thank you.
Any idea on the timing for that?
Not soon enough. We have just received the final comments from IDOT last week. Our consulting firm doing the design is hammering away on that. We expect to have it back to the DOT by the end of the month, if not earlier, and we are going to press them for an immediate permit release and get to work this year yet.
For my own edification, looking at the subject parcel, the main artery of traffic will be on the southeast corner, am I correct?
You talking about end of the site
Yes.
access? Yeah, truck
Mhm.
traffic will enter off of Kriegel Road at the far northeast corner of the site and go through the site in terms of loading docks or parking, and then they'll be exiting at the southwest corner of the site back onto Gurler.
Okay.
So entrance at the northeast corner off of Kriegel and exiting on the west side of the project onto Gurler. The 2 employee associate entrances are right here, right off of Gurler.
And just
Leaving
out of
in the
curiosity,
parking
are
lot
there,
in front of the building.
I don't know how much traffic is out there now, but I mean, are there proposed lights, or is that a possibility?
No lights proposed there at this time.
No, they would not. A signal would not be warranted with this development alone. Yeah, there will be a right turn lane prior to the Kriegel Road intersection for deceleration for those trucks. So we'll peel them off of Gurler and get out of the way of the other traffic. So,
Got it.
Do we have any idea relative to the traffic, how many shifts are going to be run at the distribution center and how many employees are going to be there at each shift roughly?
Yeah, I can answer that.
Thank you.
Why don't you go up the, Mike,
Based off of the initial design, we would anticipate about 1,000 employees, both full-time and part-time, across 3 shifts throughout the day.
Thank you.
That's a good traffic consideration, too. Again, we have a second speaker this evening for Ms. Ingrid Imboden. If you could step forward, state your name and address, and
Hi there, my name's Ingrid Inboden. I live at 2975 South 4th Street. And my first comment is the boundaries of DeKalb have definitely changed since I kind of came to DeKalb, got married, and came here in 1974. So one thing, we used to be out in the country. It's not anymore. That boundary has changed. And I'm about, well, if you're coming from the north and going south, I'm the third house on the right, 2975. And what we notice, it's a racetrack. Right just north of my house, the speed limit is 50 miles an hour heading towards Gurler Road. That's really too fast because everyone's really going 65 and 75. It really sounds like a racetrack, and it's sometimes scary getting out of your driveway. I would hope to see those speed limits change, and I would invite the police from State Police or DeKalb City Police to come out that way, and they can use my driveway at night. I think that was the major thing I wanted to talk about tonight. And I looked at the boundaries of DeKalb as I was coming in from Peace Road going westbound, and it's shortly after Peace Road, it's 45 miles per hour for 1/10 of a mile, and then about half a mile, and then it's 35 miles and 30 miles per hour until 7th Street, and then it's 30 miles an hour all the way through town. And coming off of Huber Parkway going east, it's the same thing, 45 miles an hour, and then it goes to 35 miles an hour. So at where I'm at, it's 50, and it's going to head towards that stop sign on Gurler Road. So I really think there's some studies that need to be done regarding that speed limit. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid.
I'm absolutely in support of the study on that, and we would petition the state to have that lowered. I think there are a couple of metrics that go into that. The residential area and the number of drives is already one that's been there obviously for decades, but now with this, let alone the signalization and the increased industrial usership there, I mean, we're talking about magnitude of change that I would strongly recommend the state grant us that. We'll look at what it would be. I mean, shooting from the hip, maybe we, at least 40, maybe we make it 35 to be consistent with Gurler and the rest of that industrial corridor. Again, there's a little bit of, it's not our full discretion, the state's involved, but we will certainly petition them.
I assume by your comment that because it's Route 23 that we have to have state approval in order to lower
Correct,
it.
it's a state route, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would agree. With the amount of traffic that's going to be welling up there over the next couple of years, it certainly requires to be re-examined. So.
I may have missed this, but there isn't going to be a light there?
There is.
There is.
Gurler and 23 will have a light.
Good. Yeah, because the school's right there too, and I know my son just went there, and there's a lot of traffic already in the mornings and the evenings, so yeah, that's a good thing.
Okay, if there are no other comments, I will close the public hearing.
There might be others to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry. Had anyone else? I apologize. Please come forward and just state your name and your address.
Thank you. No apology necessary. I didn't fill out a form, but I prepared a letter that you all have. My name is Paul Borick. I'm the Executive Director of the DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation. And I have a letter of support that was approved by our Executive Committee on behalf of our Board of Directors. And I'll just share that with you. On behalf of the DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation, a public-private partnership dedicated to the expansion and diversification of the county economy, we wish to convey our support for the proposed amendments to ordinances providing for the annexation, zoning, and site plan for the Chicago West Business Center. To accommodate the 700,000 square foot warehouse and distribution center by TC Pursuit Services and DeKalb 343, and referred to as Project Barb. As staff indicated, with development of the Ferrara site, the layout of lots, streets, and other infrastructure shown in the 2006 ordinances were modified and amendments approved in 2019 to accommodate the Ferrara distributions and pack center. The proposed site plan for tonight for the 58-acre site provides for further revisions to the building layout, roadways, and access points to accommodate the Project Barb building and site plan. Also, extensive utility and infrastructure improvements in conjunction with the Ferrara and Facebook projects have brought necessary utilities to the subject site. In addition, substantial roadway improvements to Gurler and Peace Road were made, and as we discussed tonight earlier, improvements to the intersection of Route 23 and Gurler Road will be made, providing access to and from the Chicago West Business Center and this Project Barb site. On behalf of DCEDC, goal number 2 of the DeKalb County Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy calls for DCEDC, our organization, to identify and recruit target industries in strong and growing sectors, including transportation, logistics, and distribution. In addition, the Project Barb site is located in the DeKalb County Enterprise Zone, a program administered by DCEDC that provides for state and local incentives for industrial development, including distribution centers. Further, DCEDC's Talent Pipeline and Business Retention and Expansion Committee is working with Kishwaukee College, the DeKalb Workforce Development Office, and other workforce service providers to share best practices, recruitment successes, and provide information and assistance on quality of life assets with new and existing DeKalb County employers to assist employers in further employment recruitment. For these reasons, DCEDC urges the DeKalb Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the amendments to the Chicago West Business Center annexation, zoning, and site plan as proposed tonight. Signed, Frank Roberts, President of our Board of Directors, as well as myself, Executive Director.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for the opportunity.
If there are no other public comments, then I'll close the public hearing and open it up to questions from the commission.
I guess the only thing that, this business park was created exactly for this type of development, so that seems like a no-brainer. The one thing, though, about the traffic and the speed limit, that would be something that I think we should pursue, petitioning state, IDOT, whatever entity it is. But can that be pursued separately? Because that, while it's adjacent, it's not really part of this amendment to that ordinance.
Right, it's not really, the ordinance doesn't call out for traffic studies, it just necessary road improvements, but
Right.
Mr. Gill noted, we're in favor of doing a traffic study regarding the speed limit, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be an independent action by
yeah.
my office, and we'll just.
You don't
go
need
ahead
to
and do
include that in this
Okay.
motion.
Yeah,
That will-
because that is an important component, but it's not really part of what this amendment is for,
Right.
so,
Yeah,
okay.
I agree. Dan, just based on this, if you could help me understand again, just where the main arteries of traffic flow will be in and around here going to and from 88 specifically?
Yes, this probably shows it the best. This is 88 Peace Road intersection, so vast majority of truck traffic come off of here, obviously, the roundabout, and then to go to the site here. That's the main truck traffic location. Then as I mentioned, they'll go up Krieger Road to the access through the site and exit back into Gurler and back to Peace is the main truck traffic. Of course, here's Gurler and Route 23. That'll be traffic too, limited trucks, but employees, et cetera, and that'll be improved, as Zach mentioned. So those are the two main access ways to the subject site. Truck traffic is limited as you go north 88 on Fairview, so that's not allowed up there. So vast majority of truck traffic off of Peace down to Gurler.
Okay.
It looks tightly controlled.
Hmm?
I said it looks tightly controlled.
Yes, yeah.
You don't see it flowing out beyond the park,
No.
so. I have a question, actually. So if grading starts in August, I know distribution centers tend to go up fairly quickly. Any idea about anticipated completion upon approval, how long it will take to to have the facility up and running? I'm playing right into your hands. I'm softballing questions to you. I knew you'd have the answer.
The suspense really while I walk over here to answer it. So we do anticipate mass grading to begin early August. With project completion, we would anticipate to be in Q3 of 2022. So it will be a quick turnaround for sure.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question about improvements on Crago. We talked about the improvements on Crago. Who makes those and who's responsible for that? Is it the city?
The
or-
developer would advance those privately. They would be reviewed by my office and approved, but it would not be a city project financially or from a management standpoint.
Okay,
That's the way Gerler was done and the roundabout.
okay.
When we do traffic studies, I know that we've considered how much truck traffic and where that's coming from off of Peace, trying to direct that. How do we make estimates about the employee traffic and what may come from DeKalb, what may come from, east of here?
Yeah, that, you're getting a little bit more of an art than a science there with that nature of it. We do know a total number from the end user. They obviously know how their operation is going to function from a number standpoint, but you're right, we don't know. They make some assumptions, whether it's 25% from this zone, another 50 from this zone, another, so they kind of played out logically based on population concentrations and also existing routes. But yeah, there's no hard, fast way, but typically they're relatively accurate.
Well, I mean, it's fairly limited as to how you're going to get in and get out of it. And if you've got 1,000 people working there in 3 shifts, you've got, roughly 300 turning over 3 times a day. So.
Yeah, the traffic study submitted shows a total daily of just over 2,000, trips, which that jives with the 1,000 because it counts both the coming and going. Their peak hour, which is usually the more crucial thing for a traffic study, hangs between about 100 and 150, depending on the time of day. There's always 2 peak hours, a morning peak and an afternoon peak. So again, it's about 150 at that peak hour for the personal vehicles that they see.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, if not, I'm sorry, Dan, I was looking in here, I was trying to find the sample motion to approve. What page is it on?
Page 4.
Okay. I will ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by O'Flaherty.
If you want to, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
You want to read it?
Based on the submitted petition and testimony presented, I move that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend to the City Council approval of an amendment to the annexation agreement and an amendment represented by Ordinance 2006-107 and Ordinance 2006-109 to allow for an approximate 700,000 square foot warehouse and distribution center on approximately 58 acres located between Route 23, Gerler Road, Kriego Road, and I-88, and subject to the plans, standards, and conditions listed in Exhibit A.
So moved by O'Flaherty. May I ask for a second?
Second.
Seconded by Wright. May I ask for a roll call, please?
Becker,
Yes.
O'Flaherty,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Pena Graham,
Yes.
Stoker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Chair Maxwell.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Our second item of business tonight, public hearing, petition B33 Northland Plaza LLC for an approved amendments to ordinances 2002-45 and 2019-004 to amend the sign regulations to increase the allowable wall sign area for the Barber Green Road 2478-2560 Sycamore Road, zoned PDC, Planned Development Commercial District, and commonly known as the Northland Plaza Shopping Center. The presenter would like to come forward.
Hello, good afternoon. My name's Frank Lambert with Southwater Signs, and we are working with TJ Maxx, the TJX companies. Am I gonna do?
Yeah, just go ahead, Frank. I can run through them as you're talking.
Yeah, I have a few points here on why we're asking for something a little larger. First off, the letter height's consistent with PetSmart and Hobby Lobby, about 5-foot letter height. We have a slightly lesser frontage than Hobby Lobby and PetSmart. The business is over 600 feet setback off of Sycamore Road. We feel that the slightly larger set looks a little better on the larger facade, the parapet that's being built for, that will be built out for TJ Maxx. And we actually did a study, Hobby Lobby. Oh.
It's a public hearing.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So you want this one up, Frank?
What's that?
Is this the slide you want to?
That's the slide we have up.
Okay.
I actually have an exhibit showing a slightly smaller sign that's about 6 inches smaller in area, which actually meets the 1.5 square foot per linear feet of frontage. So this larger sign does look a little better on the larger parapet. Also, we did a study, not to call out Hobby Lobby, but Hobby Lobby seems to meet the criteria of 2 square feet per linear foot per their frontage. So we're just asking for a slightly larger sign. We feel that it doesn't look too large on the facade itself. Anyway, that's all we have.
Staff reports included in your packet. So at Northland Plaza, there was a plan development ordinance approved in 2002, establishing the zoning, sign regulations. Mr. Lambert, sign company came. City, TJ Maxx is looking to relocate from the current location to a new 27,000 square foot space in Northland Plaza, just north of Aldi. They like a little larger wall sign, so when that ordinance was approved in 2002, they did have allowance for that easterly building. Here's Sycamore Road here, so the easterly building further back from the roadway, of course, was allowed larger wall signs because they're further back from the roadway. Actually 1.5 times the frontage of the tenant space frontage. So at that time, the city only allowed 1 times the frontage, so they were allowed larger wall signs. And actually, just in March of 2020, we did the sign update to the code, if you remember, and we actually increased citywide for wall signs, commercial wall signs, to go up 1.5 times the frontage. So that's citywide now. So when they came in, they actually wanted a sign a little bit larger, over about 250 square feet, which was 2.3 times the frontage. We indicated to Mr. Lambert that a variance would not probably work, because then you do it for one business, the next one will come in and want a variance. So we advised to take a look at doing an amendment, getting the owner's permission. They would initiate the petition to amend the wall sign standards for the entire easterly building, instead of just doing it for one at 2 times the frontage. We said we wouldn't support anything over 2 times the frontage. So there's also a standard that no individual lettering was over 3 feet in height. They're amending that to remove that also. So the proposed sign's about 183 square feet, as shown here in the detail. That's about 1.7 times the frontage. The proposed tenant space is 106 in width. It's shown here in the diagonal area just north of the Aldi. So they submitted the petition at 2 times the frontage. That's what they want to amend it to. So any of those others could do that, certainly in the road. Looking at their current location, TJ Maxx, of course, across the street, a little bit further south, they're a little bit closer to the road. They're over here, and this is where the new location will be. As you can see, they're currently a little bit closer to the road. They have a sign about 1 times the frontage of this space. So the new location has a narrow frontage, so their sign's going to be a little bit smaller. The one they're at now, that's a wider space, but not as deep as this. So, and they're a little bit closer to the road right now. TJ Maxx about 400 feet away. Where they want to go, they're about 645 feet away, so almost 250 feet further away from Sycamore Road they're going to be. So We certainly understand the request. They actually came in 2019 to do some amendments to Northland Plaza regarding permitted special uses and also about signage. That was related to a pylon sign that was allowed to be built. They haven't built it to go here. There's a current one at this location. Pylon sign to advertise the businesses in the back was approved for this location. They didn't build it, but at that time they indicated they're having some challenges. With the retail industry now, it's a challenge to lease that up. So they were concerned about visibility for their tenants back there and trying to lease that out. So the city did approve an amendment to allow that additional pylon sign. It hasn't been put up yet. It's intended to have signage for all the buildings and the tenants in the back, that easterly building. So they're coming back now with a request from a certain tenant to have a little bit larger wall sign so they can have a little better visibility from that back. So we're supportive of the amendment request. They also does include a couple smaller signs, a projecting sign, 2.5 square feet, and 2 column signs totaling about 10 square feet. That's also part of the overall sign size, which the details do show. They're also going to have put up panels, some existing panels, TJ Maxx on Sycamore Road, and the one that's on Barb Green Road too, that pylon sign. So they'll have advertising on those also. But that's certainly not required amendment. So we'd recommend approval. There is some concern about visibility, so we're trying to help out. In terms of visibility, 2 times the square foot, it's not that much more than 1 time, so it's not going to be like there's going to be huge wall signs out there now. So, and we also look at other locations. They're pretty far back. DeKalb Market Square with the Walmart, Kohl's, Best Buy, etc. They're further back. They're 1,200 to 1,300 feet back. I believe that ordinance from '94. I didn't see anything in there that allowed larger wall signs. There was talk about the need for larger signage out there, but I assume most of those have been 1 times the frontage or now 1.5 times the frontage built, but they're a little bit further back. But so we'd recommend approval. I have a sample motion prepared that proves in detail what the particular sections of the previous ordinance were amending.
Okay. If no one else from the public would like to speak to this, I'll close the public hearing and ask for questions from the commission.
More of a comment than a question. One of the things I think is important about approving this is, not only is it further back, it's also obscured quite a bit from the outbuildings.
Yeah.
So as you're looking from the street and traffic patterns or such, seeing back into that plaza is a little more difficult. So I think the larger sign, in addition to the pylon signs, I think the larger sign will assist in that. I think it's a smart move to go over in that plaza. So yeah, I support it. I think it's a great idea. And
I
think
believe Panera's right in front of us too, right? Panera? Yeah, so.
Yeah, there's some
We look
outbuildings,
at-
some the trees have grown a little bit
Yeah,
there, so that's,
landscaping.
there's a little narrow window there, but this will definitely help.
Outside of DeKalb in and of itself, I mean, obviously, we probably did some studies a while back as to what the proportions were for frontage signage like this as it relates to the nearest highway. Again, it's the graphic designer in me, but even this seems proportionally probably a little bit smaller than it could be, just based on the distance. And again, you do have a lot of obstruction out on that street too, so I certainly am at all in favor of approving an increase, but I think that it even might even have been a little bit more.
And the applicant notes too, and it's true, the facade, which they're going to build, it's flat now, but they're going to build up the facade to kind of match our existing. It's quite large, so they want something proportional, not something that seems out of character with the facade itself.
Any other comments, questions? Anyone? Okay. With that, if there's no other comments or questions, I will ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion. Based upon the submitted petition and testimony presented, I move the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend to the City Council approval of an amendment to Section 5.3D of Ordinance 02-45 and Sections 4 and 5 of Ordinance 2019-004 for the subject property to to allow wall signage on the easterly building, 2478-2560 Sycamore Road, to be allowed up to 2 square feet per lineal foot of building facade due to its distance from the Sycamore Road, and to eliminate the 3-foot-high maximum for individual sign lettering, under canopy projecting signs, and to column signs may be included in the overall wall and sign size.
So moved by McMahon. May I ask for a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Becker. May I have a roll call, please?
Becker,
Yes.
O'Flaherty,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Pena Graham,
Yes.
Stoker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Chair Maxwell.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When are you hoping to move?
October is the start date, hopefully. There's a lot, after this, they build the signs and everything, and then they have to build up the facade. And a couple other facades have been taking a little bit longer than expected, so we're hoping October, but it might be November.
We're glad to have you stay.
Cool, thank you.
Staff reports, sir?
Yeah, just briefly, welcome Shannon to the commission. Updated the members list, so I did email that too, a hard copy provided, so if there's any corrections needed, let myself or Aaron know. We'll make those to the list. Next scheduled meeting for the commission's August 2nd. No hearing scheduled. We'll keep that open, and if we do cancel it, it'll be the Thursday before the meeting. We'll let you know. Next meeting after that, August 16th. We'll probably have at least one hearing that night. And we're going to be meeting at the police department training room on the 2nd level. There's some upcoming city council, finance advisory committee joint meetings coming up regarding the budget for 2022. So they're meeting, we're restricted to Mondays here, so they want to meet on Mondays. So looks like the meetings in the second one in August, in October and November, we'll probably be at the police station, and we'll give you more information on that. We met there a couple times last year. Works out pretty well, just to let you know down the road. Last council meeting, July 12th, this is a week ago. They did approve the, on first and second reading, the rezoning at 304 North 10th Street with that mixed-use project, so that went very well through the council. That's all I had. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And with that, I will ask.
I move, we adjourn.
Motion by Wright. Now I'm going to look at you and see if there's nobody seconds it, and if anybody objects, because you said that last time.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that?
We did. Are we going to have a second, or is somebody going to just throw a curveball? It's seconded by Stoker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard.